if you can't run 4 to 5 jobs at one time, you're not ready to make millions of dollars. Hey, what's going on, guys? Kel Myrick with easiestbusiness.com. I look a little bit more formal today. It's about to be Christmas. Who cares, right? I'm in my recliner. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that I'm very passionate about, commercial painting, of course, as always. But today I want to talk about something that I have a lot of experience as far as being in the inner workings of large companies. But a lot of people don't seem to understand what you need to scale up to that potential, to scale up to those numbers. So I was talking to a painting contractor. He owns a painting company out of a different part of the country than me. I'm not going to name where he's from. I don't want you guys to figure it out. I'm not going to name any names, anything like that. But he told me, we were talking for about an hour and a half the other day, and he was saying that he wants to scale up. He wants to make $6 to $10 million a year, which is all fine and good. It's very possible. Anybody can do that with a hard, a hard work ethic or a good work ethic, and some good guys surrounding you. So anybody can do that. But he began to tell me, that he wanted to hit the $6 million a year mark. That was his goal, but he only had 6 full-time employees, 6 full-time painters. And so as I made a video earlier on my TikTok on this, kind of the same, type of video, but a lot shorter version, obviously, and brief down, I wanted to go more into depth on what it would take for you to reach those numbers as far as just being a commercial painting contractor, leaving the residential alone, because I have experience being inside the inner workings of these companies, and I've seen exactly what it takes, what numbers you need to have to get to these large numbers, these millions of dollar ranges. And so I just don't see 6 painters getting you there. Me personally, it's pretty much impossible in my mind for 6 painters to get to $6 million a year plus the boss, so I guess that'd be 7. You'd have to have each single painter individually responsible for $1 million in value, $1 million in revenue apiece. And if you can find me one painter on the face of this planet that can bring in $1 million a year by himself and handle all the work by himself, be more than happy to hire him, and I'll pay him $500,000 a year, and we'll kill it down here in South Alabama. It's just not possible. So I want to go over the top 3 things, in my opinion, for being inside these companies, what it would take to actually get you above the million mark, and even maybe up to $5 or $10 million based on what I've been through and what I've seen with these companies. So step 1 and 2, or tip 1 and 2, are kind of the same. They're similar, but they embrace different aspects of what I'm talking about, and you'll see what I mean. So step 1 is you need to have an estimating department. And by department, you don't need to have 10 people. You don't need to have 20 people unless you're a general contractor. They usually have that many estimators. But when it comes to estimating just one trade, so this kind of applies to anybody, not just paint, but when it comes to paint contracting, and you want to do just commercial work, and that's all you do is just that trade, maybe some wall covering, no drywall work or anything like that, because we're painters, right? So if we're just estimating paint, you may have 1 or 2 guys, 2 or 3 guys, if you want to scale up that big. 2 guys can handle 30 to 50 bids a week, depending on the size of the bid and how long you have to do the bids, how many issues are on your current concurrent running projects and things like that. I know I by myself probably wouldn't have any problem doing 20 bids a week. That'd probably be around my max, though. Maybe 25 I could knock out, depending on if they were Starbucks or were they big hotels or big apartment complexes or big condo units or something like that. So the first thing you need to do is scale up your estimating department. If you're the boss and you're going on estimates, you're leaving some guys on the job site and you're coming back to the job site and you're on your brush, that's the biggest mistake you can make as far as scaling your business up. If you're the boss, if you're the face of the company, it's okay at first if you're on your tools and you're painting and you're there showing your guys what to do, but you need to remove yourself from being equals with your subordinates, and you need to be bringing money in the door. Your number 1 priority as a business owner should be sales. You should be bringing money in the door. That's residential or commercial, but commercially focused, you should be the face of the company. You should be going out to pre-bid meetings, site visits, things like that, like pre-walkthroughs. Pre-bid meetings is where you sit down with the general contractor before the work starts. You need to be the face of the company. So you need to be building these relationships with a general contractor, because they're going to want to put a face with the company, and it needs to be your face if you're the owner. So you need to have guys that you can trust to be put in place so you don't have to be there. And that's my tip number 2 is you need to scale up your field first. See, a lot of people think that they can try to catch up on the back end, but that's just not how it works. You can't expect to do $6 million a year in business and have 6 guys and say, well, I'll just hire new guys when the time comes. Well, what if you get a $500,000 job that starts in a month and you're going to have to finish up 2 or 3 jobs that you have in front of that, and you have 6 guys. It's going to be impossible for you to find quality guys in that short period of time unless you subcontract it out, which eats into your profits, and be able to staff that job and finish it according to a construction schedule. And like we talked about in other videos, if you don't finish construction inside of the schedule and you're the reason that the schedule doesn't finish on time, then you can be held financially responsible, what's called liquidated damages. And so that just could be a big mess that you don't want to get in. So the first 2 things you need to do is you need to step back from the paintbrush, from the tools. You need to focus on sales, focus on marketing, focus on being the face of your company, and scale up your office. If you need to be the full-time estimator, whatever. If you need to hire somebody, whatever. If you need somebody to train your department, reach out to me. I will literally fly out to you, of course, for the right amount of money. I'll fly out to you and literally train your guys hands-on, one-on-one. That's not what I'm here for, is to pitch me or anything like that. Learn how you can learn what's within your budget for the time being. Not everybody needs to come to me for training, but if you can't find any other external resources, I will be glad to be a resource for you. So scale up your internals, scale up your field guys or your externals, scale up superintendents to manage your projects, and you need to have enough painters on every project to keep that thing going, where you can have, if you can't run 4 to 5 jobs at one time, you're not ready to make millions of dollars. All the big guys, when I was with one of the biggest painting contractors in Virginia, we had 150 full-time employees. That did not include the office. So we were probably around 160, 170 full-time employees. We had 5 superintendents, and we would literally be running 40 jobs at one time. I'm not kidding. 40 jobs at one time would be like, a Monday, strolling through, the sunflowers or whatever at the park, through the tulips or whatever the saying is, right? That's just another Monday at the office for us, was 40 jobs going at once. And yeah, the superintendents were each juggling, 5 to 10 jobs a piece, and it was a lot of work, but that's what we were doing. And we were making $13 million a year on average. Some years was more than that. Some years was around the $10, $12 million mark, just depending on how much construction was done, how competitive our bids were, and things like that. So scale up your office side, scale up your sales, focus on marketing, focus on building relationships with the general contractor. Step number 1. Step number 2, scale up your field. You need to have hires before you land the contracts. You can't be rushing around trying to find hires after you land the contract. You'll never make it that way. And then step 3 is going to be spend your marketing dollars in the commercial world. So in the residential world, spending marketing dollars may mean door hangers. You spend time knocking on doors. You do direct mail marketing. That does not work for commercial. Commercial, you're going to be calling off your signs. You're going to be paying for your yearly subscriptions is going to be your big thing, though. It's going to be your plan hubs, your contractors exchanges, because that's where 99% of the general contractors like to submit their bids. They like to submit them on Plan Hub. They like to submit them on, I wouldn't use Blue Book. That's just my preference. You do whatever you want to do. But if you live in a big city, Los Angeles, New York, type in New York Contractors Exchange. Los Angeles Contractors Exchange, Chicago Contractors Exchange. When I was in Norfolk, Virginia, we had Norfolk Contractors Exchange. And every reputable GC, maybe not small mom and pop GCs, but every reputable GC posted their bids, their invitation for bids on these exchanges, and they uploaded the plans to what's called a plan room. It's just an online portal where you can go click on the job. It shows the details of the job, who's bidding it, what general contractors are bidding it. And then they provide plans. When you click on a link, you download the plans, and you can submit the bid through the portal, or you could submit the bid, to the contacts. You can get their email off that and send it to them that way. And then obviously have the right insurances, have the right employees, be ready to go, be able and willing to do the job once you bid it. But if you're not getting in front of them, if you're not getting on their bid list, as I've spoken about in past videos, you're not going to land any contracts. So scale your field up, scale your office up, be ready to take on the millions of dollars of work, and then start bidding the work. have somebody that you trust, an estimator, project manager, somebody like myself that can do it all, and then you can just go be the face of the company. So you need somebody that's going to run your field jobs, you need somebody that's going to run your office that can do it all, and you go be the face of the company. You go through the pre-bid meetings, you go do the walkthroughs with the GCs, you call the GCs, you visit the GCs, bring them food, build relationships with them. If they like you, they'll do business with you. And if you need any help, leave me a comment below. I read all comments, respond to all comments. And if you need even more help, go to my website, theeasiestbusiness.com. If you need to learn something or request something from me, theeasiestbusiness.com/courses. And I have basically a proposal template pop up that comes up on every page. Free proposal that we used in the commercial paint world. It will help you. You just take my information, replace it with yours, and you should be good to go. And like I said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, guys.